Hi everyone, namaste, good evening. So after the Friday expert talk series and the Saturday candid chat, we are here for our back to business 10 weeks of Yuktahaar project and back to our topic. It's Sunday and I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Okay, so we are in phase 2. We have stepped into week 4. And till now in phase 2, I'll just brief on the things that we have covered because there was a Friday expert talk series, Saturday was a candid chat. So maybe there are few people who are like, who have lost touch with what we have been doing. So in phase 2, we have covered vegetables, we have covered the kinds of dairy that we are going to eat in phase 2. We have covered all kinds of breads. What are the good breads that you can have in phase 2? What is the sourdough bread? The fact that bhatura, if it is made the right way, the slow fermented way, the recipes in the book, then it's actually a gluten-free bread, and that's something that you can have in phase 2. And of course then we have discussed that people who do really want to drink, they can have wine and beer in a very moderate frequency and amount, nothing overdoing, and also the kinds of wine and beer that they should choose, reading the labels on the bottle. So these are just few of the things that we have discussed about phase 2 till now. And today I wanted to discuss everything about fruits. Right, so we have discussed vegetables and I wanted to cover fruits. So fruits के लिए भी बहुत कुछ discussions हैं, myths हैं, debates हैं. There are few people who say that eat fruit first thing in the morning when you get up. There are few people who want to eat fruits for breakfast. So what did you do for breakfast? They'll say that I had a bowl of fruits. There are few people who even have a bowl of fruits for dinner because then they feel that, if I want to lose weight, I know so many people who feel, I want to lose weight, so what should I do? And they will start having a fruit salad or a fruit bowl for dinner. And then there are also myths about fruits, when it comes to diabetic people. So when it comes to diabetes or any kind of sugar related concerns, whether it's PCOD or insulin insensitivity and things like that, anything like a metabolic concern or in metabolic disorder, then people feel that they cannot be eating certain fruits which are high in glycemic index, which is namely mango, banana, grapes. So we can only have papita or melons. So these are the only fruits that we can have. So a lot of things about fruits ki क्या है, क्या नहीं है, कब खाना है, कैसे खाना है, कौन सा खाना है, and all of these things are something that we are going to discuss today. So firstly, to set the record straight, there is absolutely no restriction in fruits in phase 1, in phase 2, in phase 3. आप कोई भी phase में हो, आप fruits खा सकते हैं. There is no restriction कि आप phase 1 में है तो आप fruits नहीं खाना है, या phase 3 में है या phase 2 में है. Irrespective of the phases that you are in, you can eat the fruits and you can eat whichever fruit is in season. So firstly, let's discuss कि fruit का सही time कौन सा है. So as you can read the board here, I have mentioned 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is the time when I want you to eat the fruits. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is the right time to eat the fruits. And why is it the right time? Because this is essentially in Ayurveda, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is the Pitta and Vata time. What does it really mean? I'll explain if you've just had a glance on the board first. This is the correct timing to have fruits, which simply means that you're not going to eat it first thing in the morning, you're not going to eat it for breakfast, you're not going to eat it for dinner. So that completely rules out. And why is something that I'm going to discuss. So when we go back to Ayurveda have divided the entire day into these doshas. So I'm sure you must have all heard there's something called a Vata dosha, Pitta dosha, Kapha dosha, right? So we know that these are 3 doshas. Most of the people know this. So Ayurveda also divides the day into these doshas, which means कि हमारा जो दिन है, so basically like just to elaborate on that, morning 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the Kapha predominant dosha. So morning में जो 6 से 10 का time होता है, Ayurveda believes that this is the Kapha dosha. This is the predominant dosha of this timing. This period is Kapha. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is Pitta dosha. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. as I said is Vata. So when we say this here, it's 10 to 2 is Pitta, 2 to 6 is Vata. And again 6 p.m. After 6 p.m. again there is a Kapha. So now the best time to eat a fruit is actually during the Pitta and Vata dosha time, which is this. The Pitta and Vata dosha time is actually the best time to eat fruits, simply because Pitta के वक्त हमारा metabolism बहुत high होता है and we can really digest things which have sugar, things which have glucose, things which have fructose, all of these things much better. So therefore Pitta dosha is a very great time to have fruits, which is again 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But then again, we don't do the fruits with the lunch. So when I say 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., if suppose you are having lunch at 12 p.m. for example, then you can have the fruit at 11 a.m., 10:30, 11:30, something like that. Again, if you're having say your lunch at 1 p.m., then you can have your fruits at say 3 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. That kind. So so that is one part of the story, that if there is the Pitta dosha, which is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., then it is the right time to eat fruits, and therefore this becomes a good segment. The other is 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now this is the Vata dominant time. Now the Vata dominant time is essentially great for anything which requires mental activity or eating things that can really be efficient for your mental faculties. And that is why again eating something which has sugar, which has some fructose like we have in fruits, is something very nice, because as you all know, carbs, glucose, sugar, fructose, all of these things, they are really good for brain functioning. They help fuel your brain, and because 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the Vata time, which is again significant for mental activities and mental faculties, it becomes really nice if you can have fruits again in this period. I would say that wind it up, anything before 5:30. Don't extend it till 6, because then what happens, like people start eating at 6 and they'll finish it up by 6:30 धीरे धीरे खा के. So it should just wind up by 5:30, 5:45 max is what you should look at it. Now if people now why we should not have it in the Kapha dominant time, which is before 10 a.m. and after 6 p.m. 10 बजे के पहले सुबह, which is basically उठते ही या फिर नाश्ता ब्रेकफास्ट में, या फिर 6 बजे के बाद में इवनिंग में, which is basically dinner time, like 7ish is the dinner time according to the TBBD principles for those who are following it. तो उस समय fruits क्यों नहीं खाना है? Because as I said is the Kapha dosha time, and in Kapha dosha period, in that dominant dosha, you do not eat anything which is raw, number one, and you do not also eat anything which is not cooked. So if you really visit any of these Ayurvedic centers where they are treating clients for certain disorders or even obesity or any such thing, then if at all they have to give a fruit before 10 a.m., then they will steam a banana and give. So this is the protocol that is followed, that अगर the morning 10 a.m. के पहले अगर fruit देना ही है for XYZ reason, they will always steam a banana and give. They will never give the banana to the client just like that, just to eat it that way. I'm talking about a ripe banana. So a ripe banana is steamed and then given. Especially in the south, if you go, a ripe banana, I'm not talking about the kacha kela, I'm talking about the ripe banana. They'll always steam it in the morning and then give, if at all it has to be given. So this is the reason why you should not be having it for breakfast, you should not be having it for dinners. The only exception here is when you're doing it, say, as a post-workout. Post-workout, agar aap morning mein utte hi, you go for, say, a workout, in the morning. Again, I would not want you to have fruit as a pre-workout, because pre-workout, I suggest going for soaked almonds or soaked raisins. But as a post-workout, yes, you can have a fruit, and that can be an exception to this rule, because that can happen at 9 a.m. in the morning, at 9:30 also. So that is a exception. That is number one exception. The second exception is that even though you're having it at this time, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., we do not want to have it, club it with your lunch. So don't have the fruits with the lunch. Keep some space. Either have it before lunch or have it after lunch. So these are the two exceptions here. So with the timings, I think we are sorted. Now about the type of fruit. Now the type of fruit has really got nothing to do with your diabetes status or anything. The only thing you have to ensure is that the fruit that you're eating is in season, and the other thing you need to ensure is that you eat a variety of fruits. Now that is something which is very, very important, because as I spoke about the vegetables the other day, the same thing happens for fruits कि हम जो fruits में हैं हम वो गिने चुने 7-10 fruits ही खाते हैं, the mainstream ones, which is apple, banana, mango, papaya, melons. So these are the few fruits that we will eat. We people do not even know about the so many bears, जितने बेर होते हैं, जितने तरह के हमारे पास berries हैं इंडिया में. We people run after strawberries, which is not available all over India. Maharashtra and some parts of Arunachal has strawberries, but otherwise none of the parts of India have strawberries, but we just run after strawberries. But there's so many other berries that India has, like a rasbhari, and there's so many other berries, so many other bears, so many jujubes, so many other kinds of fruits, very, very uncommon fruits, which people have stopped eating, and you would always find them with a vendor, with a person who is like, pushing a cart. You will find those kind of fruits there, and like the jamuns, for example. Now, how many people really, end up eating jamuns during the season? So we have to keep those things in mind and not really bother about कि मुझे diabetes है तो क्या मैं ये mango खा सकता हूँ, क्या मैं ये कर सकता हूँ. See, honestly, if you're restricting yourself from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., how much of mangoes would you eat in a day? You're not having it with the lunch, you're not having before 10, you're not having after 6. So you would just end up eating it once in a day, and if you're eating it once in a day, you would max eat one mango. So one mango once a day is not going to do anything to your diabetes status. What is going to really hamper your diabetes status is eating dinner late, not having a wholesome lunch, having a very heavy breakfast of parathas and puris. So those are the things that is going to affect your diabetes status. Just one mango a day is not going to affect your diabetes status. So I feel that, there's too much of talk about this. Of course, the part of this is that mango is a fruit that people love to eat. And because people love to eat, probably the one part of the story is that people tend to overeat. So if you overeat anything, as I said in the last talk, if you just overdrink water, then that also can become a problem. That doesn't mean that people will start saying, oh, water is problematic for diabetics. We never say that. The same way, mango is not problem for diabetics, or banana or grapes or sitafal. None of these fruits are problem for diabetic people. It's just the way you are eating it. If you stick to the right time, which is 10 to 6, if you stick to a nice amount, which is once a day, and one mango once a day, it's not going to harm you in any way. Of course, you don't want to eat mangoes in the winter season, that you have frozen it in your house, or you are getting it from somewhere and you're having it in the winter season. Then of course it is bad. So when we come to what kind of fruit, have fruits which are in season. Number 2, have a variety of them. These are two important things. What is a good time to eat it? 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you should not eat it? First thing in the morning, for breakfast, for dinner, and with lunch. So these are the times when you should not have it. You can have it before lunch, you can have it after lunch, you can have it as an evening thing, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. These are all great timings to have. So I think this should be enough to cover everything about fruits. And yeah, so as I said, the exception, one more exception is if you're putting it in your protein shake. If you're having it as a post-workout thing, then that's again an exception, because it's a post-workout thing. Your body's requirement is completely different if you're worked out, and if you're worked out at a respectful intensity, then of course there's an exception to this, and then you can have that fruit in the protein shake, without the protein shake in any way, but you can have it post-workout irrespective of the time. Okay, so we'll open up for questions. I can see somebody asking me why not before 10. So I'll just brief why not before 10, but actually this is something that I covered during the live. Maybe the person has joined late. But what I'll suggest is that you go through the entire video once I post it on my page. But why not before 10 is because before 10, it's a kapha period time. According to Ayurveda, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is a kapha dominant phase of the day. And during kapha periods, we do not have anything which is uncooked, which is raw, or anything like a fruit. It is never given. And also, if at all it has to be given, like I'm talking about Ayurveda centers where they treat people, then it is given in a steamed form. So even a ripe banana will be steamed, say at 9:30 a.m. if they really have to give for any XYZ reason. It is steamed and then given. That's a different story, that a lot of people in South India do enjoy a steamed banana, but it might not be applicable for people in North India, and therefore, it doesn't apply for us. But for us, what happens is that the best time, the way we eat fruits without steaming, the best time is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
An hour before lunch, we can have any fruit of choice, right?
Yes. An hour before lunch, have any fruit of your choice. Make sure it is seasonal, and make sure that you do not have the same fruit every day. Make sure that there is a variety in the fruits that you're choosing every day. So let there be like a different fruit, each day.
Can we fast on fruits full day for detoxification?
No, so detoxification is another thing that I have actually covered in the past videos. So maybe you would want to go back there and see. So it is not, fasting and detoxification has also become, like a big fad. So I don't want to go ahead and say that, okay, if you want to detoxify, eat fruits the whole day. There's a way of doing it, and that actually has been explained in my book. So if you are doing it with the right attitude, and if you're doing it the correct way, which has been explained in the book, then of course the fasting can be done by any means. Like there are people who just eat fruits for fasting. There are people who just have liquids during fast, so they can have like soup, juices, sharbats, vegetable juices, all those things. There are people who just drink water in fast. So, depending on the comfort. The idea of fasting is not to make you miserable. The idea of fasting is not to create a headache for you. The idea is not starvation or suppression. The idea is that you do what you are able to do, what you're comfortable doing. So, if you are comfortable with fruits whole day, it makes you feel nice and light, then yes, you can go ahead, but have the right attitude. Please go to the book and refer to what attitude I'm talking about. And also, it is not to be done every day. Fasting is never done every day. The maximum that you can do is like once a week, once in 2 weeks, once a week. That's the frequency of fasting. So don't take this thing as an advice that I'm going to eat fruits whole day, every day. You will fall into a lot of trouble if you do that.
Can we have fruit smoothie in breakfast?
Fruit smoothie in breakfast. So as I said, if you are working out, if it's a post-workout smoothie that you're talking about, then yes, you can have that. So as I said, the only exception when you have it before 10 a.m. is two. One, if it is a post-workout thing. अगर आपने morning में workout किया है और morning में आपने, for example, 8 a.m. you have worked out, and now you are come back home 9 a.m. and you are having the fruit smoothie or the fruit protein smoothie or just the fruit smoothie with whatever you want, then that's fine, because it's a post-workout thing, and that's an exception. The other exception is if you've steamed the fruit, as I explained, that the only thing that you can do if you really want to have it before 10 a.m., then the option is of steaming the fruit. And let me tell you, a lot of these Ayurveda centers all over India, they steam even the pineapples, they steam mangoes, they steam bananas. I'm talking about ripe fruits, I'm not talking about the raw ones. So they do steam it, and then they give, if at all it has to be given before 10 a.m. So if you do want to make a smoothie, and if you feel that you can you find that steamed thing palatable enough for yourself, then you can steam it, let it cool, and then make a smoothie. That is one thing. The other thing is, if it's a post-workout thing, then you don't have to even steam it. Because as I am saying, post-workout, the body's physiological requirements are completely different, and you don't have to really, then steam the fruit and then have it before 10 a.m. Any time of the day, if it is a post-workout, any time of the day, you can simply have the fruit if it is post-workout.
It is said that we should have 5 different varieties of fruits daily to include color and nutrients.
Yeah.
Do we have to take it that way?
No, you don't. You cannot include 5 different varieties of fruits in a day. So there's only that much we will be eating in a day. If you include like 5 different varieties of fruits in one day, I don't know how much time will you have, or the appetite will be left for you to eat your dal, chawal, khichdi, roti, bhakri, chutney, soup, and all of the other things. So what I will suggest is that you go for one fruit one day. Like Monday you have, say, oranges, Tuesday you go for Mosambi, Wednesday you can have a sitafal, and I will say that it's much better to rotate the different varieties of fruits through the week and not like have like 5 varieties in one meal in one single day. Of course, you can make a fruit salad, but again, a fruit salad which involves 5 to 6 varieties of fruits is not something that you eat every day, right? So one-off things I'm not talking about. You will not have a fruit salad or a fruit bowl mixed with all of those things every day. Once in a while is fine, but on a daily basis, choose one fruit one day and keep rotating the variety every day.
Is it true that fruits should be eaten as soon as it is cut?
Yes, it is true that fruits should be eaten as soon as it is cut, but honestly, everything should be done as soon as it's cut. Like even vegetables, you should cut them and then make it. So, these are all ideal things that we should be doing. But then again, there are a lot of people who have to cut the fruits, put it in a tiffin box and carry it to work. So I will not fuss about this thing a lot because we live in a real world and there we have to maintain a balance between what is ideal and what is real. So if you can cut the fruits and then eat it immediately, go ahead. But if you have to really cut it, pack it and take it somewhere else and eat it after 2 hours or 3 hours, I will say that don't bother about it. You're not creating a lot of harm for yourself. It's really fine to do it.
Does this kind of eating be followed by children too?
Yes, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. If that's what you're talking about, then yes, even kids should have fruits at, the time should be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. even for kids, number one. Number two, again, for kids also give them a variety, rotate the variety, give them seasonal fruits, make sure that you're giving them lots of fruits which are in season. Again, like I said in vegetables, when I did the vegetables video, I told you that every season try to see that you're including 2 different vegetables. So this is winters going on for most of us, so or whatever respective season in whichever country you are, but in whatever season you are in, ensure that you're including 2 new fresh fruits that you have never eaten before, that you have never tasted before, and you would want to give it a try. So do that this season. The next season again include any 2 other fruits. The next season include 2 other fruits. So even if we go on a very conservative way and feel that there are 3 seasons in a year, we will be having like 6 new fruits included in your diet by the end of the year, which means that by the end of 2 years, you will have 12 new fruits. So yes, this is something that, as a family, you should be doing. You should be telling the child, even teaching the child कि इस समय में कौन सा season है, इस समय क्या चीज का season है, or it's like be the change you want to see, like Mahatma Gandhi has said. So you have to start with yourself. If you eat fruits, only the same 5 to 7, 10 kinds which you have been eating, and the child is just looking at you eating only those kinds of fruits, even the child is going to eat only them. So if you really want your child to get interested in different varieties of fruits, you need to start with yourself. And to make things easy, there is this seasonal fruits ka list in my book. So this is the book, and if you go towards the end, chapter 10, there is this fruits ka list, which is again like a table: summer, monsoon, winter. So it's very simple, because a lot of times I do understand that people have this this difficulty is there, that we do not know कि किस समय क्या चीज का season है, because in a urban city nowadays you get everything. So if that is the case, refer to the book, and you will also be able, what I would suggest, that you go here and mark the fruits which you have never eaten, और या फिर जो आपने कुछ 10 साल पहले खाया था और 10 सालों में आपने उसे खाया नहीं है, खरीदा नहीं है, so you have just forgotten them. Anything of this kind, mark them, and then ensure that you include at least 2 of them this season, 2 new fruits, and do it every season, so that you have at least like good 5 to 6 new fruits by the end of the year which you have never eaten.
If the gallbladder is removed, any restrictions?
For fruits, no, there is no restriction for fruits. Just maintain the timings as I said, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it is important, very important, important for everybody, but more so in your case, like if the gallbladder is removed, that don't club the fruits with the meal. So don't cut the mango and don't have the mango with the lunch. once in a while it's fine. So again, I'm not talking about one-offs ki bhaiya aap kabhi jeevan mein karna hi mat, but once in a while it's fine, but let's not make that an everyday habit. So let's not eat mango or any fruit. I'm not saying about mango. I mentioned mango because mango is the fruit which people tend to eat most with the meal. But any fruit for that matter, don't eat the fruits with the main meal, with the lunch. Eat it before lunch, after lunch, evening, post-workout. Those are good timings to have fruits. Again, an exception to this is this, that if suppose you're cooking the fruit into a curry, like say a mango curry. A lot of people make mango curry. A lot of people make say a banana chips. So if you have used the fruit, banana chips is still raw banana, but let's take a ripe one, like a ripe mango is used to make a mango curry. Or even there are people who use ripe pineapples to make some main meal ka course, like some main curry or something like that. So that is an exception, because then it's a different thing. You're not eating it as a fruit, it's a cooked thing. That can be a part of your lunch, your main meal. But as a fruit, don't club your fruits with the main meal. Have it before the meal, after the meal. Don't have it before 10 a.m. Don't have it after 6 p.m. I hope that much is clear.
What are the different combination of fruits we should not mix?
No, I don't think there is anything like that. As I said, I would firstly want you to cultivate a habit of eating only one fruit at a time. So there is no question of combining fruits. As I said, you would be only combining fruits once in a while. One-off thing is fine. I don't want you to combine fruits on a daily basis. And if you're doing it once in a while, it's really fine to combine 4 to 5 seasonal fruits together. See, the fruits which come in a season together, they are all very similar. Like if you see a summer fruit, most of the summer fruits have big stones, like say a mango or any summer fruits. If you see, सब में ऐसे stone fruits होते हैं बड़े वाले, जिनमें ऐसे बड़े stones निकलते हैं. Most of the summer fruits are like that. Most of the winter fruits are those which don't have these big stones. They have these small stones. So in some way, nature has built-in mechanisms where your summer fruits are almost of a similar nature and guna, and winter fruits are also of a similar nature and guna. So if you are mixing say 2 to 3 winter fruits together, they will not be too contrasting with each other. It is really fine in that way, and you don't have to bother ki should I combine this with that or should I combine that with that, as long as you are respecting the seasonal diversity that we have. So till then there is no confusion about ki what should I combine with what. Having said that, what I'm trying to say is that do not make this a daily habit that you want to combine 3-4 fruits and then have just one fruit, one variety at one time in one single day is more than enough. It is great. And then of course, as I said, you need to keep changing that variety every day. So throughout the week, if not 7 varieties, if you can go ahead with 7 varieties, kudos to you, and that's the best thing that you can do. But if it not at least 7 varieties in 7 days of a week, then at least try to see that you have 5 varieties of fruits in 7 days of the week.
What is the ideal time to have amla? I generally have it before breakfast.
No, amla is a very different thing. Amla is not something that we will see when you have it before breakfast. What do you have amla is, again, in what way are you having? Most of the time before breakfast, like if you go in the book, there's an amla tea recipe, and trust me, it's a fantastic recipe for people who are really wanting to lose weight and a lot of weight. Start your day with the amla tea. You might take time to adapt to the taste, but a lot of my clients who have started on with the amla tea, they are like so used to it that I have to like at times really force them to shift to some other tea just to bring a variety in their diet. But when you have amla in the morning, first thing in the morning, or any time before breakfast, basically before 10 a.m., it's in a very different form. You either have it in the form of an amla powder, like the way you make a tea, as I have used amla powder here for the amla tea. You will not have khatta fruit, which is the fruit as a fruit. You will not have it just like that, right? So in that way, you either make an amla chutney or you cook it. So again, if you've cooked it, then you can have it with your lunch. But amla as a fruit is not something that you just sit and bite on amla at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I really doubt that.
If after eating khichdi by 7, you really get hungry by 9 and there is still time to go to bed, What can we eat? Tea sometimes doesn't work.
Yeah, so you can eat according to your hunger. Like if you are really hungry at say 9 a.m., then you can, go for any handful of nuts, like, makhana, which is also called fox nuts in English. So you can go for those white makhana. It's also called lotus seeds. So you can have them roasted. You can roast them in ghee, and you can put some salt and pepper over it. And you can have those makhanas, say at 9 p.m. or something when you're hungry. Or you can even have a handful of roasted peanuts. So even that is fine. The other thing that you can have is, say, any other kind of, these nut milk. We even did a reel few days back for a nut milk. So if it is a homemade nut milk, like if you've made that at home, then you can even have that in the form of anything that you want. Like you can put some cinnamon or something and make some kind of a drink out of that, and even you can have that at that time.
Can we cut the fruit and store it in the fridge?
Yeah, if that is what is making your life convenient, then yes. So basically the ideal thing to do is cutting the fruit and eating it immediately, right? So that's the most ideal thing to do. But if that is not possible because of XYZ reason, it is completely fine to cut the fruit, store it in a tiffin and take it to your work, or store it in the refrigerator or the fridge and then eat. So basically it's to each his own. It really depends on your lifestyle, on what are the challenges that you have, who are the people around who you can delegate work, who are the people who are there to help you out. So a lot of factors are there. So I don't want to sound very rigid saying that don't cut the fruits before. It really depends on what kind of lifestyle and what kind of help you have around. Try to eat as fresh as possible, but then again, you don't have to get stressed about it, because stress itself can be very harmful to health. So we are not talking about eating healthy and fresh at the cost of your own peace of mind. So there's the balance that you have to maintain. I think we can do wind up.
I've read khichdi recipes from your book, but what should be the ideal quantity of white rice and moong dal?
White rice and moong dal, again, see, it's different recipes in different households. In many places, what they do is that they do a ratio of 1:2, which means कि मतलब मूंग दाल जो होता है वो 1 होता है, and the double the amount is the rice. So rice is, say, if suppose rice is 1 cup, moong dal will be half cup. In many places it is equal. So 1 cup rice, 1 cup dal. So I will say either go for 1:1, where rice and dal is equal, or you can go for 1 cup rice, half cup dal, basically half, like one and half. So that is also a good ratio, depending on a taste also. A lot of people it varies, right? So depending on taste, honestly, depending on taste, depending on what you like eating, because khichdi is again something which is eaten in the household as a very traditional recipe. Har ghar ka khichdi banane ka tarika alag hota hai. In Bengal we have a Bengali khichdi. In Himachal we have a different khichdi where they use black dal to make khichdi, unlike the other parts of India where we probably use mostly yellow moong dal. So, honestly, in the south there is a completely new recipe of khichdi. So really it depends on, where you come from, what you like. But generally 1:1, या फिर 1 cup rice, आधा cup dal. Okay, so I'll just take this last question which I can see on the screen, and then I'll just end this for the day. And somebody is asking, healthy dinner options, can you please let us know? So a lot of options, my dear. Roops 1995. So many options in this book. This whole book is filled with options for dinner. So there's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 meal plan. There's a north plan, south plan, summer plan, monsoon plan, east, west plan. So many plans are there in the book, and each plan has the dinner options. So please go ahead and make all these options, whatever you feel is something that resonates with your taste buds, something that you would want to try, something that you feel is convenient. So go ahead and choose whatever option you think is good for you. So a lot of options are there. Okay, thank you so much everybody for joining, taking out your valuable time on a Sunday evening, and I'm going to join you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you.